Hello again and welcome back. I have a third and fourth problem here for us to look at. And again, we're talking about limits as x is approaching infinity. Now, these are not polynomials per se, so they have some polynomials in them, but they're not rational expressions with polynomials. So we have to think a little bit harder about what's happening in each one of these situations. The first one, limit as x is approaching infinity of 1 over 2x plus the sine of x. Now, 1 is 1. 1 is never going to change. So we're always going to have 1 over something. So now we have to think about, well, what's happening here as this x value is getting infinitely large? Well, the thing about sine of x is, well, this would just be a very large number. Plus, and then the sine of x. If you think about what sine of x does as x approaches infinity, is it just fluctuates back and forth between -1 and +1, -1 and +1. So we've got really, really, really large numbers that we're either adding at most 1 or subtracting at most 1 from. But overall, this is really going to grow fast. And adding or subtracting 1 to that number is not going to change much. So we do end up with 1 over something very big, which would be 0. Now that's coming in from, or approaching positive infinity. But let's think about approaching negative infinity. And see if that affects anything. Well, again, numerator will always be 1 because there is no x value to approach negative infinity here. But here you're going to get a very, very small number where you have 2x. You could have -2 million, -2 billion, or -2 Brazilian. All right, that was lame. I'll try not to use that joke again. So now let's look at the sine of x. The sine of x, well, again, going in reverse, it fluctuates between -1 and +1, -1 and +1. So it's going to be 1 over something very negative. I know there's not degrees of negative, either you're negative or you're not, but we'll say it's very negative for lack of something better. But it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So again, you'll have 0 as your answer here.